Book of Ecclesiastes, the Introduction. The book of Ecclesiastes has fascinated many people. Some feel it is the most puzzling book in the Old Testament. It has been called one of the most melancholy books of the Bible. It has been used by some to teach that man ceases to exist after death. It is not a book that Christians should ignore. As with all Old Testament scripture, it was written for our learning and admonition. It is therefore profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction in righteousness. The book has special relevance today in our materialistic society, for it helps us to see the vanity of many earthly pursuits. It contains lessons for all, but especially for the young, who have so much to lose should they make the wrong choices early in life. In the Hebrew Bible, the book is called Koheleth, which means preacher. The term suggests one who speaks to an assembly. The translators of the Septuagint, a Greek version of the Old Testament, called it Ecclesiastes, which also means preacher. The word is derived from ecclesia, meaning assembly. Author and date of writing. Jewish and early Christian tradition attribute the book to Solomon. The author identifies himself as the son of David, king in Jerusalem. He also refers to himself as the preacher. Internal evidences point to Solomon. Note the references to his wisdom, his building activities, his wealth, and his activities after writing this book. Some question whether certain conditions described in the book existed during the reign of Solomon, but these conditions could have been noted by Solomon in neighboring countries or in lower-level positions of his administration. In my opinion, the evidence is simply not compelling to reject the traditional view of Solomon as the author. If Solomon is indeed the author, then the date the book was written would be around 945 BC. Purpose for writing. The preacher wondered what many have asked. What profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? In other words, what value or purpose is there for living? What is the meaning of life? Having been blessed with great material resources and wisdom, the preacher was able to explore all avenues in his search. He writes to share with us the results of his own investigation and to offer observations and words of counsel gleaned from his search. There are two main messages. The first is stated in the prologue. All is vanity. Indeed, the key word in this book is vanity. It occurs 35 times in 29 verses. It means futility, uselessness, nothingness. But a key phrase to be noted is under the sun. It is found 29 times in 27 verses. It suggests that this message of vanity is true when one looks at life purely from an earthly perspective. Leave God and the afterlife out of the equation, and life is truly vanity. Therefore, another message in this book is the importance of serving God throughout life. This is the message the preacher would leave with the young, and is stated in his final words. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Throughout the book, we will find what the preacher later describes as goads and nails. These are wise sayings that will prod our thinking and exhortations that will provide stability and direction for living. Ecclesiastes is certainly a book worthy of careful study. This concludes the introduction to the book of Ecclesiastes.